Ladies and gentlemen, I've hosted over 1,000 events, and there's nothing more exciting or nerve-wracking than getting to introduce one of the best in the business. He's an award-winning international motivational speaker and coach. He's worked with celebrities like James Brown and Bruce Willis.
And I'm Jack Canfield.
And I'm Brian Tracy.
And I'm John Gray.
I'm Jared Robin.
And I'm Perry Marshall.
Hi, and I'm George Regan.
To audiences of over 1 billion people. He's sharing how to become unstoppable in business. It's my honor to introduce to you Dave Crane.
Welcome to Speak on Stage. On today's show, I'm celebrating 30 years of being at Gitex, which is the most popular tech event on the planet. This is my stage, and this is my show. It's Speak on Stage. So welcome back. Here we go. Let me show you what I see when I'm on a stage like this. Now I've got to apologise if you're feeling a little bit of vertigo. You won't have this all the way through, but you will have it for a little while. So when I'm standing on a stage like this, I look out and I can see a ton of people just gathering. So this is where they look at me doing my stuff. The opposite is that I see what you're seeing right there. Now if I can make you go whoop, like that, then you can see the stand and the PowerPoints and all the... It's a monitor for everybody. It's also got a timer on it. And the thing about using a timer is people should pay attention to it. Otherwise it's my job to turn around and say, right, stop, get off. And it's really difficult for somebody who's actually a sponsor to turn around and do that. So let's go for a couple of things on today's show. First of all, I want to take you on a little wander around the place so you can see what's going on and also enjoy what it's like before it gets too busy. Deliberately I'm doing this because if you do it later on, then the people that don't want to be on the call and they don't want to be on the video, I would say, could you take me off? And of course I'm not going to edit it and change it, but what you have got is one of the halls dedicated. In fact, we've got a fintech space over here, which you can see just over there, and we've got a couple of different halls and presentation areas. You can see them in the background, a lot of the world's biggest sponsors coming around too. This is the Pakistan Pavilion on this side, and some of the biggest hitters like Visa and MasterCard have their financial places based here as well, which is rather cool. So what can we talk about on today's show? Let's start off by discussing the challenges of doing 30 years of anything. So Gitex was created in 1981, I think, 1991. So it's actually 32 years old, not quite my age. My first experience of working here was something called, it's actually, I was working in Champions Bar in the Marriott Hotel, and I was approached by an advertising agency who said, our client Acer is going to be doing a special promotion. Would you like to be in it? I went, okay, does it pay? They said yes. So I went, okay then. I said, what do I have to do? And they said, you have to rap. Now, I can't rap to save myself. I'm the world's worst rapper. And I've only done it once, and that was it. I had to wear a baseball cap and shorts and a t-shirt saying Ubi, because at the time, Acer were launching their Ubi range of laptops. And I was effectively the Ubi boy. So I had to do a rap, and I couldn't remember all the words. I had to have a bit of paper, and I went out, the music was playing. It was just the most embarrassing thing I think I've ever been involved in my entire life. And as I looked up, I saw people with their phones and video recorders capturing the moment. Hopefully those videos don't exist anymore, but the important thing is that they came over to me afterwards and said, you hate this, don't you? I went, yeah, I really hate it, but I really want the money. So there's two things to share with you here about the money. First of all, I hated the experience of doing that, but I loved the event. The event was fantastic, and I've had many Acer computers, which are fantastic as well, so no knocking Acer. But I became really good friends with the organizers who came over to me and said, you must hate doing this. I went, yeah, kind of. And when we became really good friends, we traveled around the world, did many events together, especially hypnosis events for their they were called API. My dear friend Phil Hughes and I, who have got legendary stories, have gone to many football matches, international football matches, World Cup and everything, doing radio reports from there, and just the best ever blags you can have on the planet, we all did that together. The second thing is, when I did this actual presentation, and it was really painful, it's like going to a dentist not wanting to go. Every time I went out and did it, a promotion girl came over to me and said, Dave, how much are you getting paid for doing this? So I told her, now bear in mind the fact I'd just arrived in Dubai, I'd only been here about 2 or 3 months. And so when I agreed to do it, I did it for whatever money they were offering me. It was either yes or no. So I said, yeah, I'll do it. And she said, how much are you getting for it? And I said something like 300 dirhams a day, I think, which in dollars would be about $80 a day. And I had to do about 4 or 5 different versions of a rap. She said, you know what, I'm a promotions girl, and I'm getting paid twice what you're getting paid, and I just hand out leaflets and stand here. She said, you're getting ripped off. But of course I couldn't do anything about it apart from internalize the fact that my unhappiness comes with a cost, and clearly the cost wasn't spreading to me either. So that's one of the things I learned at the very early days. Now the great thing about being at an event like this, and as you can see we're walking around, you see over here Bitget, okay, and also Creed and Bear. There's some incredible presentations. This is inside the blockchain area and the Future Summit, but also if you go out here and have a look around, there's several different properties where you can catch up with all the different countries they're representing, and there's AI and so on, and gaming and lots of different things. But I'm in the blockchain today for the next 4 days. And so one of the things that comes amazing is you bump into people. Some people know you for many years, some people know you every now and again, and I do a lot of events around the world, so sometimes people come up to me and say, oh Dave, you're here. And the challenge is, I don't often know who those people are, and that sounds terrible, but when you see lots of people everywhere, you've got to go, oh yeah, it's great to see you. I've got a really good way of doing this with my gorgeous wife Aziza, who's been trained, or she's trained me, to be able to deal with the challenge of when I'm talking to people and they don't know who I am, or I don't know who they are, recognize. They come over and say, Dave, how are you? And this happens a lot, and sometimes it's followed by a conversation saying, don't you remember, Dave, we worked together 15 years ago or 10 years ago in a different country? And I've got to go, yeah, kind of. So what she does is this. So I'm stood there smiling and trying to pretend I remember everything, and she goes, he's so rude. I'm Aziza. What's your name? I'm going to say John or Steve or Billy or Sahil or whatever it is. And the great thing is then I can go, Sahil, yes. And I go, of course. Sorry, I should have introduced you, Sahil. This is my wife, Aziza. Perfect. So we do this as a routine. So if ever you find that Aziza jumps in and says, hi, this is Aziza, you'll know what happened. So as I say about bumping into people, yesterday I bumped into a dear friend of mine, Gisela Fernandez. Now you're going to say, well, what's the importance of that? Well, the importance is Gisela and I were responsible for being part of the opening team of 104.8 Channel 4 FM, which is a radio station that opened up here in fact, we worked out 26 years ago. I've not seen her virtually for about 20 plus years. And in those days, we're all young and innocent. I certainly had no grey hair. And we just opened up the first commercial radio station here in the UAE. And I got to work with James Brown and Enrique Iglesias, various Spice Girls. Got to open Planet Hollywood with Sylvester Stallone, Amitabh Bachchan, and Bruce Willis. And I got to work on Dubai Rugby Sevens. I started working that and then looked after it for another 18 years. All those and more kind of springboarded my opportunity to travel around the world and do the stuff that I've done, for which I'm incredibly grateful. And so when we're talking about all the people we knew and so on. And that's one of the things I want to share about you. This whole show is not just a celebration of what an amazing event that Gitex is. Everything you want to know about internet, anything you want to know about artificial intelligence or blockchain or fintech, crypto, all those things as pioneered and shared at this event. There's also about the ability to turn around and say legacy is built on being there at the right time and sticking with it. There's not many people I know from the early days that are still here doing what they do. Now mine's deliberate, it's by design. It's not that I had no choice but to be here and I didn't go anywhere else. It's really that I wanted to have a longevity of being here and doing the stuff I've done. I've been very blessed to have the most amazing career. So what goes into doing that? How do you make a career last as long as that? The reason I'm sharing this is because if you're just starting off as a speaker, you might be looking at it and saying, well, Dave, I don't know where I would begin. Or you might be saying, yeah, I'd love to be a speaker, or I don't know how long I could do it for, or how do you get into doing tech events like this, or even any kind of conference? The key thing is my own signature phrase, jump and grow wings on the way down. What's that about? Very simple. Throw yourself at the deep end, make a calculated risk and believe that you have the ability to get things done, and believe that you know enough about it, so when you put your hand in and you put your head around the whole game, that you will manage to get a result. And sometimes the result isn't exactly what you want. Sometimes it's really difficult or challenging. You can even get things wrong, but what you do get is an incredible learning curve. And part of that learning curve is realizing that most people won't do it. Why? Because they want certainty. They want the guarantee that whatever they do is guaranteed to work out brilliantly. And life doesn't work that way. Nothing is guaranteed to be exactly as you want it to. And that's why I love embracing the chaos and the challenges that come from working a live event. So as we're walking around, you can see here an igniting ideas bit. This is a bit of brainstorming, and I guess in here we've got lots of little organizations who are all individuals and looking at startups, looking to connect with potential sponsors and investors, and they're usually solopreneurs. But in many cases, there'll be people who just started, but they've also got a small team. But of course, when you talk about small teams, your team doesn't have to be here, it could be remote. So you could build up a really good team that you never meet, but you jump onto the internet and you Zoom them or meet them or Teams them all the time. It's a really powerful way to run an organization and to do it. So my job, in many ways, is not just to handle the stage and talk to the speakers and make sure they're brought on the right way and they get the right amount of applause. My job, in many ways, is to make sure that there's a buzz going all the time. So when people arrive, they go, oh, what's happening here? And they sit down and they enjoy it. Here's another big stage. This one's for the rising stage, Rising Stars. I guess this is where the pitching will be done. All the time there's lots of pitches being done for people who are looking for sponsors and people to connect to, and this is always fun. If you're looking to pitch, by the way, there are certain rules about doing it. If you've got 3 minutes, I would always recommend use a minute of it to show a video. Why would that be, Dave? Surely we need every second. Yeah, but think about how much content you can put across in 1 minute of a video. You can get people to understand what your product is, who your target market is. They can see it being displayed. You can have words that pop up on the screen, lots of visuals, nice music, and then you can explain what it is that you want to offer to the world. So that's the first thing I'd recommend. Also, when you're pitching, make sure you engage the audience, but engage whoever it is you want to talk to. Are you really talking to judges? Or are you just talking to the audience? Or are you trying to get a video of you pitching that you can then share with other people? Sometimes the win is not to actually get a pitch that converts to win you a prize. Sometimes what you want is to be able to turn around and say, as seen on stage at this big event. And you get that footage and you get round of applause that you get from all the people in the audience, and you put that to social media and you keep sharing it all the way through. How are you? As you can see, lots of lovely people here at this amazing event. You're being broadcast around the world, so there we go.
Come join us.
They are the best.
We help the world run better and improve people's lives.
There you go. And when they sponsor me, I'll come back and talk to you.
Yes, exactly. I'll give you a speaker.
Perfect. As you can see, lots of friends everywhere, which is fantastic. So when you're pitching on the stage, you want to make sure that you understand the reasons you're there. And the reasons you're there aren't always just to get the job done in the first place. You also got to think about what's happening afterwards. So for instance, for me to do a broadcast like this, it's not just a case of coming down here, it's a case of having a scout around, wondering what to share with you about the whole idea about being down here. So when you've got an event like this, Gitex, there's a number of tech events that happen all around the world, and many of the people who appear at an event like this know each other, and they connect. So when you're actually doing this stuff, you want to be able to go around and chat to people and swap business cards. And if you don't do business cards, do digital business cards, but also connect on LinkedIn and WhatsApp. Now, there's a tip that I've shared with you before, and it's a really powerful way of making sure that you do connect to the right people. When you do connect with them on WhatsApp, take a selfie of the two of you together. Get that selfie, get the QR code of your WhatsApp, share it, and send them a hi message with your name on it. If you haven't already got your name built into your profile on your WhatsApp, and then send them that picture and get them to reply to you. Why is this important? Because otherwise, when you look at all your business cards and you look at all the people you're connected to, unless you can put a face to it, you've got no idea who that person was. And if you don't know who they are, they don't show up on your radar, but you won't be dealing with them. I don't know if you can see that. That's a droid. Not being pushed by anybody in particular. It's just being led by AI. There's AI everywhere. It's kind of exciting and scary and very Star Warsy at the same time. The thing about doing a trade event like this is all the people who are here are practitioners of the amazing things that are happening. They don't get excited by it the same way as, say, you would if you came along and saw it in action and went, oh my goodness, I can't believe I've made that. Many of the things that are here are what's coming out in the future. And in many cases, all they're doing is just changing what's already launched. So when you talk about something like NFTs, if you look at Bored Apes and the things that were done before, when you were buying like a Bored Ape NFT, if you know what I'm talking about, then you'll know. But they were selling for like $1 million each. And people like Justin Bieber, Madonna, and all these big stars are buying them. And now they're worth a fraction of that. That doesn't mean that NFTs have disappeared completely from the market. It means that buying an NFT that doesn't seem to have a huge amount of value, apart from what somebody tells you is going to be, is no longer the thing. But all the big companies and all the movies and all the different types of technology that have actually created value are still using it. Why would you use that? Because it's a digital currency that can still be very effective of getting people to buy into what it is that you're creating and getting them to want to associate and hold on and give value to the product and the brand that you've made. So let's go back and look at what's the best part of over 30 years of being here. By the way, I love your thoughts and comments. The only thing is I'm actually looking into my phone, so I can't read any comments as they're coming up, but it's always a pleasure having you here. As always, one of the things I talk about is if you're interested in learning to be a great speaker, or you want to join our WhatsApp group, and you're looking about how to create yourself as a rock star in your business, then make sure you connect with us with the WhatsApp group. We've got all the details inside the comment section, and it should be as well within the copy of this particular post. So just connect to join our WhatsApp group. We've also got the Industry Icon Program. It's an opportunity for you to be positioned as a thought leader in your industry, as our Thought Leader Accelerator. And if you want to just join a community of people that are making things happen, who don't really want to rise to the top yet, but are looking to get their career to be even more powerful, there's a great opportunity to do that just by joining us and getting onto the Game Changers. The Game Changers is our very own program for people all around the world who want to be connected, to help each other, and to grow naturally together. That's available for you now. So here we are, as you can see, some great big inflatable thing. I'm not sure where it's meant to be. It looks like it wants to be a bit of some description, looking at Tron from many years ago. But this is in the North Star section, as people are just coming in through the main doors, and they get to see a big spiky thing. As always, it's a pleasure being here with you. I'm not going to spend too long walking around. For many of you, you've probably got vertigo for me talking far too much, and you're wondering, Dave, why don't you just take a break, stop moving so much? My wife said that to me. She said, that sounds terrible. My wife said that to me about doing a video. Not take a break and stop moving too much. That's a different joke. Forget I said that. We can edit it if I wasn't going live at the same time. But you get kind of excited by the energy. My job is really, when it comes to the actual stage and to make sure things work, to make sure that when people come along, they get very excited about every single part of it. I don't need to know experts. I don't need to be an expert, but I have to be able to get the very best out of the experts across to an audience in a way that makes them very, very excited about the whole thing. Once you get that right, you've got the perfect mix of making sure that your stand and your stage bring out the best in everybody. And here's another place called The Exchange. You've got a lot of the big hitters coming through here. I'll give you a sneaky peek of what it looks like in this area here.
Hi, good morning, how you doing?
I'm good, how you doing? Can we have a quick look in there? Let's just have a quick look. This is what the stage looks like when you see it up and running. Okay, so there's the best part of it, the catering. So I go in here and get my coffee from these lovely people over here. And then when you come in, you can see the stage. Now here's a camera. This is the view that the internet would see. And on that stage there is pretty much where you will catch all the different experts talking about blockchain, talking about the challenges of being able to do fintech, and all the different apps and so on that they'll recommend. It's a great opportunity to pitch, and it's a great opportunity as well to meet people in the audience that come up to you. Now here's the thing, some people talk about when Web3 is a thing that everyone's talking about as well. People talk about sometimes about vanity numbers, how many people are there, how many people did the stuff, how many people got really excited, how many people bought your stuff. It's only the last thing that's super important, because you really need to ask how many people are interacting and buying your business. If that is a good number, or even one, then it was worth doing it. If you had 1,000 people who didn't interact, then yeah, you're better known than you were before, but it doesn't mean that you've got any value you can turn around and share with anybody about the relevance of having been there. That's another thing about social media as well, which I've talked about many times, about building your brand, about posting on social, and creating the stuff that you need to do to relate to people. It's not just about the vanity metrics, it's really about what impact did it have? What can you turn around and say, that made a big difference, I'm glad I did that, I'm going to do that again. So, I've got another couple of days of working at this event, and as I say, celebrating 30 years of not only being in Dubai, but being at incredible events like Gitex. I'm doing a lot of stuff in Saudi, I'm doing a lot of stuff out in the US now, and a lot of stuff in Europe, and I'll take you on that journey with me every single time. One of the things I'd love for you to do is, if you're interested in becoming a speaker, or you're interested in getting your product out, or you're thinking this is a great idea, but I just wonder what's like behind the scenes of all this stuff, then connect with me, let me talk to you, let me share some ideas. Keep following all my socials, because everything I do is all about growing your brand. It's all about becoming a speaker, it's all about finding multiple income streams, and it's all about becoming more relevant in the business that you're in. Because I don't think there's ever been a more exciting time than now to be able to turn around and position yourself in what you do to an audience who want to buy your stuff. We're starting to get busy now. We're going on till late, and there's after parties everywhere. I will not be going to them. I've got far too much work to do. And not sort of a wife wants me to go home at some point to feed and walk the dogs. That's where I sit on the food chain. Let's head back towards our stand, and you can see where we are with a block stage. We've got some incredible speakers that I've got to meet and greet and talk to. I'm going to share with them the way that I like them to come on stage, and also the way that they can interact. But standard format for this is that I will bring on stage, but what happens is when you're hosting an event, typically people are coming on, want to send you their website so you can do some research, or they want to send you to their Wikipedia page. This is me. I started when I graduated from Yale, and I started my first company when I was 21, and it went on to do this and blah, blah, blah. Truth is, the audience doesn't care. The audience wants to ask you one question: what's in it for me? So when I'm hosting an event, the first thing I do to any of the speakers is say, I want three things from you. I want to know who you are in your designation, tell me something amazing about what you've done in the past, and also what people are going to get from you by watching you speak. What's the name of your keynote presentation, or what are they going to have as a takeaway after seeing your presentation on stage? Those are three things that everybody needs to know. Outside of that, nobody really cares, because if you think about what's in it for them and you always concentrate on that, then it's really important that you deliver. And that's what I do when I bring people on stage. I make sure they get a round of applause, and also that they get questions and answers, if merited, afterwards, if they haven't run over time. Here's the thing: if you have never built a brand, if you've never spoken on stage before, and if it's the first time you've ever got around to doing the stuff that we've been talking about on Speak on Stage on this particular podcast, then it might seem a little daunting. That every single time you do it, it becomes a little easier to experience and a lot easier to turn into something that's really effective for you. I promise you, I'll help you on this journey. It's my job to do that, and I'm connected to some incredible people that can fast track where you need to be and how you need to get there. Check out the QR codes, which are always up. Go to speakonstage.com, that's the easiest way to do it, and connect with some of our free programs, join our WhatsApp group, and I promise you, your journey can begin here. Everyone started somewhere. Mine started about 5 decades ago, but that's another story. That's certainly higher at Gitex. It was 30 years. So I'm going to celebrate that now by going over and checking my schedule, making sure that I've got everything in place and lined up, because we're due to open as it's got busier and busier, as you've noticed, and I want to make sure that I'm on point for every single person that joins us. Now, this has been a live session, which means no gadgets. There's no need. There's gadgets everywhere, and better practitioners at using them than even me. But I hope you got some value out of this show. I look forward to catching up with you. And as always, if you need to talk to me, if you want to join one of our programs, or you want to just ask me some questions, contact me directly. Me and the team are here for you, because this is a time to grow your brand. This is a time to speak on stage, and this is your opportunity to go ahead of the game and really become super relevant, so you build a legacy that everybody knows, everybody loves, and everybody wants to work with. I've got some books coming out. I'll tell you about that on a future show. So much going on, and it's all here for you. Catch it first by subscribing to YouTube, catch me here on LinkedIn, and all the various channels. I guarantee we're going to have a blast together. Right, I'm back home. This is where I'm going to be for the next couple of days, and I have been already. That's my stage. My audience is arriving. It's time for me to do some work. I'll catch up with you soon on this podcast. Look after yourself, and thanks for joining me to speak on stage.